The Empire used dozens of powerful dreadnoughts and battlecruisers, many of which I've broken down on the channel. Some of these gargantuan vessels were created within a ship line, like the Executor or Assertor, while others, like the Arkhammer, were special projects meant for a specific purpose. Arguably, the Empire's strangest secret project and most unique dreadnought was the Eye of Palpatine. The Eye's only appearance comes in Children of the Jedi, which is honestly one of my least favorite legend stories, in that the Eye is activated by a former Emperor's hand who believes that the ship can be used to wage war against the New Republic. But we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves. Let's look at the basics, and you'll have to forgive me a bit because there aren't many pictures of the Eye available. Triv Pothman, former Imperial Stormtrooper, describes the Eye as, and I quote, "the biggest, most dangerous, most secret vessel of them all, a super ship, a dreadnought, a battle moon, one the enemy won't see coming until it was too late." Later, Luke recalls that the Eye was more vast than even the biggest Super Star Destroyer, bigger than a torpedo sphere, with the firepower to waste a planet. Throughout the book, it's referred to as a super ship, a super dreadnought, and a battle moon. This all reinforces just the sheer power of the Eye, as does the fact that it's said to have almost the power capacity of the Death Star, though without the same focused firepower. The Eye itself was unique in several ways. First off, of course, is its size. The only hard numbers we've got of the ship comes from the Death Star Manual, a reference book, which says that it's 19 kilometers long. I do find it strange that the Eye would be the exact same length as both the Vengeance and Executor dreadnoughts. That, along with the fact that Children of the Jedi presents the vessel to be much, much larger and more powerful than a Super Star Destroyer, leads me to believe that this length may be a mistake. The Eye is, more than anything, supposed to be a mobile space station, a smaller version of the Death Star, and I'm not sure if a 19-kilometer ship, even if it is much larger than a Super Star Destroyer, really represents that sort of power. Besides for size, the Eye's appearance was also unique in that the ship resembled an asteroid, both visually and on sensor readings. So much so that when Luke and C-3PO find the Eye of Palpatine in an asteroid field, they don't recognize it whatsoever. Another interesting aspect of the Dreadnought is the fact that it's completely controlled by an AI. This computer seems to be leagues ahead of its contemporaries. Luke assumes that the Eye has human gunners, as computer-guided weapon systems are often sloppy. However, the entire vessel, especially the navigational and weapon systems, are totally unmanned. This ties in quite closely with its function. The Eye was made as a sort of top-secret super weapon, one that could launch a massive assault covertly but with great power. This is why it's totally unmanned and meant to blend in within an asteroid field. Its first mission was to wipe out a surviving sect of Force users who survived the Great Purge on the planet Belsavis, the Children of the Jedi. And the way it was set to do this was interesting. First off, troops were scattered across various planets as the Eye was finishing construction. A pre-programmed route was placed within the ship's computer system. Once finished construction, the Eye was meant to travel to these planets and pick the garrison soldiers up, brainwashing them so they would be further subservient in fulfilling their ultimate role. However, the Dreadnought was sabotaged by Jedi Callista Ming and was thought destroyed. This was in 18 BBY. 30 years later, the Force-sensitive Irek Ismarin, child of one of Palpatine's concubines, is able to summon the Eye and return it to service. Once reactivated, it begins its pre-scheduled route attempting to pick up stormtroopers. Most, however, were obviously no longer stationed on their original posts, and instead the Eye picked up a variety of wildlife, including Gamorreans, Tusken Raiders, and even Jawas. These species were all brainwashed, as was Luke, who was also caught, into believing themselves Imperial troops. The Eye was meant to wage a war against the New Republic and be the center of a new fleet. However, Irek and his mother Rogonda Ismarin, former Emperor's hand, are defeated, and the Eye is destroyed by two of Luke's students, who not only forcibly save Luke from the explosion, but also return Callista to life. However, were there other super dreadnoughts like the Eye, perhaps somewhere in the galaxy? Well, at one point, Irek Ismarin describes the Eye as the Empire's most powerful and heaviest armed battle moon. That, I would think, suggests that there are other similar ships, or at least were in the Empire's heyday. Former Maw installation engineer Qui Jux also explains that Deshara Kor, when looking for superweapons to combat the Yuzan Vong, also believed that the Eye had a sister ship. that however was never explored in Star Wars Legends continuity. Interestingly, the Eye may make its way back into Star Wars canon. An asteroid-shaped dreadnought, which looks just like the Eye, is featured in the book Rebel Files. It even calls it a super ship, much like Children of the Jedi. However, it's described as only a rumor, and perhaps an unreliable one at that. But let me know what you think. Do you like the idea of a dreadnought hidden in an asteroid? Do you like the Eye of Palpatine and the idea that you seed combatants to be picked up on a later date? And do you think the ship should make its way into canon? Let me know all of that and more down in the comment section. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, this has been EckhartsLadder. May the Force be with you.